Welcome back to Blinded and Breakdown. This episode is going to be a little bit different today because I've got two episodes for you guys. This first part is actually going to be a throwback to some old Hollywood tea, but some stories that I've been wanting to talk about. I feel like you guys are going to low-key love this episode. So this first item is about Prince, which I've only ever heard good things about Prince, but this one reads, if people are just now learning how rude the now dead one-named permanent A-list singer was to regular people, wait until they find out about the women he beat on a regular basis. Now, of course, I know who Prince is, but I don't know much about his personal life because he was a little bit before my time. But from what I'm reading, it sounds like he's giving me Diddy energy. This person said, sadly, this is probably about Prince. Always loved him, but I heard he wasn't very nice. One comment says, I read Matei's book. She alleged that he barely paid the people he employed, sub minimum wage. Now, it looks like there is a documentary that is being cooked up, and it's going to accuse Prince of some really horrific things. Now, Prince's estate is aware of this documentary, and it looks like they're working out legal concerns they have with his story and how he may be mischaracterized, because a lot of ex-girlfriends are speaking out, and people who the family members did not really know, but it doesn't mean that their stories aren't valid. I did come across a video of Prince kicking Kim Kardashian off stage.
She might be too sexy. Don't eat her. I want a big fat sexy mama. Turn it up, baby.
This doesn't even feel like real life. Like, Kim, what are you doing here?
Ariana, what are you doing here?
He's probably like, who is this?
Get off the stage.
She's like, well, I'm out of here.
Welcome to America.
Out of the people who are speaking out in the documentary, and no, I'm not talking about Kim Kardashian, there's this woman named Jill Jones. She has a scary allegation from the year 1984 when she claims that she had a night where she visited him in a hotel room. He kissed her and she slapped him. At that point, they started to fight and he was just socking her in the face. She didn't press charges after his manager told her it would end his career. The film also includes Prince's ex-wife, Matei, the one who we talked about her book briefly in the comment section, but it looks like the documentary follows their meeting when she was 16 years old and he was 35, and he liked her after seeing videos of her belly dancing. I mean, how did he get away with this back in the day? I know it was maybe different back then. People like to say that, but this doesn't add up. Prince wrote in a letter that he worshipped her and her virginity. Quote, one of the main reasons I love you, he writes, and worship you is because you don't have a history. And what's more beautiful is that you don't desire one. That's kind of a red flag and a little bit predatory if a man is just so turned on by the fact that she's never been with anyone else. These two ended up getting married and they had a son together, but he had type 2 Pfeiffer syndrome. You guys are going to read me in the comments below, but it's a condition that left him without the ability to breathe on his own. So it looks like they had to decide to take him off of a respirator, and ultimately he died because he could not breathe. His ex-wife was actually a little bit concerned because after they decided to make that decision, he went off on a plane to Miami to go and perform a show, and she was left there grieving. She claims that Prince told her not to announce the death of their child during an interview, and ultimately grew cold and resentful towards her. Their marriage was soon over. If you guys want a deeper dive into Prince, let me know in the comments below, but I want to go through a compilation of some of Prince's shadiest moments.
Now, what do you think of Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga and the new people?
Well, different strokes for different folks. I make music, so I don't watch it.
I am a musician. I don't sample. You know, it's not Memorex. I go on stage and my microphone is on.
So, I mean, when you go on stage, you're a different person. So, but off stage, you're very quiet and very mysterious. What is that all about?
I'm just that way around you.
Well, I can't be played. A person trying to play me plays themselves.
Our next blind item is about Marilyn Monroe and John F. Kennedy. It reads, Old Hollywood. The dead actress could not have been pregnant with the baby of the president because she had her tubes tied after an ectopic miscarriage while married to the author/playwright, who'd be Arthur Miller. If you guys did not know, I love Marilyn Monroe. We've talked about her before, like that one creepy guy who paid for the little like casket spot above hers and decided to be like buried like face down, so his dead body is facing her dead body. There are so many creepy stories that involve Marilyn. This comment reads, "We will never know the truth about what happened with Marilyn, so let her rest in peace." One person asked if she did have her tubes tied, did she even know she had this done? Because one thing about Marilyn Monroe is that she always wanted to be a mother. But a recent headline is now putting Marilyn Monroe back into the press. The coroner who performed an autopsy on Marilyn Monroe is breaking his 60-year silence to reveal he never agreed to the cause of her death being taking her own. There are even rules prohibiting him from probing into whether the tragic death was an unaliving, a murder. So it seems like this autopsy guy is like the same kind of guy, like the same kind of medical examiner that Diddy hired whenever his ex, Kim Porter, mysteriously died, because they couldn't really get the autopsy report right. So this medical examiner seems like he was paid off, and maybe he's on his like deathbed and he wants to go and reveal this. I mean, Thomas is now 98 years old and full of regrets. Aw, poor Thomas. And he's starting to tell the truth about what happened on August 4th, 1962. Marilyn's presence was so divisive in society, especially when she got involved with a president. So it seems like Thomas could be shedding light on a conspiracy that she was taken out to go and protect the office of the United States.
What if Jackie Kennedy was the one who not only killed Marilyn, but her own husband, John F. Kennedy? Marilyn passed away shortly after it came out that she had an affair with John F. Kennedy. What if she, I mean, look at her face, she definitely looked like she would, hired somebody to do something to her, enter her house, and unalive her? Her autopsy says that Marilyn displayed bruises on her body. This bruising was not normal. Bruising doesn't happen post-mortem. So that bruising had to happen before she passed away. And then as she was already dead, it could have developed. And it could even develop hours after death. But the trick point is that it happened during her being alive. Then a year and like 2 to 3 months later, John F. Kennedy gets assassinated. 2 people who did her wrong. And somehow, some way, even though she was in the car with him, she wasn't a target.
Now, Thomas, he's 98. He's not writing this book right now, but this woman named Anne is, and she's releasing what he admits is the truth, that the autopsy was never fully and properly performed, and that evidence quickly went missing. He also claims he was not allowed to further investigate how a body that was found surrounded by bottles of powerful sedatives did not have any visual evidence of pills inside the stomach and small intestine. So if she took all these pills, then where'd they go? It was reported at the time that Marilyn was said to have been carrying President Kennedy's baby, which if her tubes were tied, that couldn't be true, right? And it looks like at that point he threatened to dump her. As he ran from the scandal, she would then go and tell the world all about the procedure she had to get rid of the child. And people argue that this would give the Kennedy family enough motivation to go and get rid of her. Thomas, the medical examiner, became quickly suspicious, especially after he looked through her stomach and organs and asked for them to be tested with a toxicologist. But the toxicologist, Raymond, it sounds like he disposed of them once the coroner's report was issued without a complete analysis, something you typically would not do if it's a proper case. At the time, it looks like Thomas was 35 and on probation, so he wasn't doing that well at work. So it was interesting that his chief decided to give him this case, the most famous woman in the world. And he looks back on it thinking it probably was a setup.
She passed away and her body went missing for 6+ hours, right? And there was tales that she was post-mortem S8, if you guys know what that means. The tales said that more than 6 people slept with her at that time and she was passed around.
Let's get into this blind item about Priscilla Presley and Lisa Marie Presley. It reads, with the recent accusations made against this illiterate celebrity, it makes you wonder if she was trying to kill her daughter for years? This comment reads, when Priscilla dies, it'll be interesting to see how her estate is divided and what part of the Elvis estate she leaves to Elvis's descendants and what gets funneled to her son by another father. Another person writes, I remember Priscilla didn't even seem remotely sad at Lisa's funeral. Gesser commented, well, she sent her to Scientology boot camp for her drug problem and seemed to have too much control over Lisa Marie during her adult life. Nicole writes, the professional widow Priscilla, the fact that she shows up here in Memphis every year on Elvis's birthday and expects to be treated like some weeping widow still when Elvis died damn near 50 years ago and she wasn't even married to him anymore. It's all felt really icky. Recently, there's been a lot of drama surrounding Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie's death. Priscilla's legal team is fighting back. It looks like her lawyer, Marty Singer, is slamming a new lawsuit that her former business partners filed. They claim that Priscilla was ignoring her daughter, Lisa Marie Presley's deteriorating health and removed her from life support against her daughter's wishes. So she pretty much like killed off her daughter. They claim that this is some plot that she's created to go and regain control over Elvis's estate. You must really be a sicko if you kill off your own daughter to go and secure some money. Her lawyer said that this lawsuit is one of the most shameful, ridiculous, salacious, and meritless lawsuits I've ever seen in my practice. He said it's nothing more than a sad and vicious attempt to falsely tarnish the reputation of an 80-year-old woman. The lawsuit addresses Lisa Marie's 2023 death, alleging that when she and Priscilla attended the Golden Globes on January 10th, Lisa was noticeably ill, complaining to Priscilla about her health, but that Priscilla ignored the warning signs. Lisa Marie experienced cardiac arrest and was taken to the hospital on January 12th. Despite Lisa's clear directive to prolong her life, Priscilla pulled the plug within hours of Lisa being admitted and before her granddaughter Riley was even able to get to the hospital. Damn, Priscilla took her out the first chance she could. They also accused Priscilla of fraud, including other allegations of breaching contracts. They also claim they weren't paid. This is why if you're going to do like dirty business, go and pay your employees, because if you don't, they will go and seek even more than what you owe them. The thing that gets me sick to my stomach is the fact that Priscilla and Lisa Marie didn't even really like each other. So, yeah, like the fact that like she had control over the narrative, the press release, over the plug, she just quit. They said, hey, Priscilla, just so you know, like, don't go and unplug that over there because that will take out your daughter. She said, wait, what? And she ran to it and pulled it out before they could even finish their sentence.
Everybody's speculating about what caused the estrangement between Lisa Marie Presley and her mother Priscilla back in 2015, 2016, and why they were no longer functioning as a mother and daughter relationship. Lisa Marie Presley filed for divorce from Michael Lockwood. She did so after reporting images or videos of child, well, I can't say the word, but inappropriate pictures, videos of children on Michael Lockwood's computer in Tennessee. Priscilla ended up taking Michael Lockwood's side in this whole issue, and that's what caused the estrangement. That's why Lisa filed the amendment in the will and trust that Riley and Ben take over in 2016, and she cut Priscilla and Barry out of the will and trust. So the fact that Priscilla is fighting it so she can put herself back in salary, so she can remain part of the Elvis Presley enterprises that Lisa Marie Presley no longer wanted her a part of, to me is, nothing short of horrifying.
Our next blind item is about Paula Deen, our sweet Paula Deen. This item reads, this Southern celebrity chef not only put hundreds of workers out of a job, she then made things worse by showing off on social media her luxury vacation. Oh, she going on vacation? Did she go down to the Carolinas? This is not the time for the rich people and the elite to go and show off everything they have, because we are all struggling out here. This comment reads that she's 78 years old. Is no one allowed to retire and enjoy themselves anymore? Debbie writes, she's allowed to retire, but not retire all those hundreds of people who worked with her without notice. She's a bigoted, nasty woman with virtually no redeeming values. I don't even think her cooking is that good. It doesn't redeem it. But on a serious note, like, everyone's struggling out here, and there are a lot of people being laid off. Prices are going up, payments going down, and recently Paula Deen fired a bunch of people. Paula announced that she shut the doors of the Lady and Sons and the Chicken Box. The two locations became landmarks in Savannah, Georgia. Following the announcement of the closing of these stores, it turns out that neither of them let their employees know that they would be losing their jobs. Former employee Braden said that he learned that the restaurant had closed from an email sent by upper management the morning of his shift. He said, "We got a very small severance and they just told us to go and file for unemployment." So more people just, on unemployment, and it's a cycle. It's a bad cycle. Now, Paula Deen is seen caring less. She is living her best life with her man. Look at her man. Can we do a zoom in on him? What a handsome looking Santa Claus. Right now, it seems like Paula Deen is eating less and relaxing more. It looks like she's been probably on those Ozempic, which good for you, Paula. Everyone's on it nowadays. Back in the day, I used to troll everyone on their bobbling heads, but now I gotta be nice because everyone and their mother, they might even put pets on it soon. One person said, "You're probably escaping town, Paula, so you don't have to face your workers that you stiff." One person said apparently all of her employees either found out from an email or social media the morning that they were out of a job. So they were waking up to go to their shifts and found out they don't have to go. For someone who built their brand on Southern hospitality, you'd think she'd have a bit more human decency. But this isn't Paula's first rodeo. She's been accused of mistreating people who worked for her in Savannah. For instance, a black cook named Dora claimed that Paula broke her promise by leaving Dora behind after reaching stardom. Kind of reminds me of White Lotus, where that rich woman, Jennifer Coolidge, makes a deal with that woman to go and open a spa, but then they don't, and I'm not going to give it away. It actually looks like Dora at one point reached out to get a settlement, but a transcript of Paula Deen's deposition revealed that she admitted to using the N-word more than once. As a result, the Food Network pulled her shows off the air and she lost endorsement deals. She did have to issue an apology for this, as you should, Paula. I was gonna say not very Southern hospitality of you, but I guess the Southern part works because that's where a lot of that stuff. It happens everywhere actually. Nowadays there's racism everywhere.
I want to apologize to everybody for the wrong that I've done. I want to learn and grow from this. Inappropriate, hurtful language is totally, totally unacceptable. I've made plenty of mistakes along the way, but I beg you, my children, my team, my fans, my partners, I beg for your forgiveness. Please forgive me for the mistakes that I've made.
In 2024, there was another moment where Paula Deen had the OWA Parks and Resort, which was owned by Paula Deen's family kitchen, and it looks like their restaurant closed the day that employees arrived. They just showed up and everything was closed. The line cook Stacy said, "I was told we were shutting down for good. I was told to hand the keys over and follow a gentleman to get our last paycheck." A server said, "We were all hearing rumors that we were going to close. Everyone was telling us it was not true. It's just a rumor. We just renewed our lease, but then it wasn't true."
Paula Deen's family kitchen in Owa in Foley is closed tonight. In a statement, Owa saying after careful consideration, they decided to close the restaurant. But as Whitney Leibold reports, some employees say the closing came as a surprise.
Stacy Shoecraft was a line cook at Paula Deen's family kitchen. When she arrived to work Wednesday morning, she walked into unexpected news.
I was told we were shutting down for good, and I was told to hand the keys over and follow this gentleman over there to go get our last paycheck.
Another employee showed up for his afternoon shift.
Well, I just came to work, and when I get in there, I don't see anyone. I see two guys. I don't know if they are. They look like somebody gonna work on the building, and they tell me that the place is closed down.
No warnings, no nothing, is what multiple employees told News 5.
We had been lied to for months, saying that we're all hearing rumors that we were gonna close down. Everybody was telling us that it wasn't true. It's just a rumor. We just renewed our lease. We just did all of these things. And get today, and there's no more Paula Deens.
They tried to go and offer these employees jobs at another spot under Paula Deen's enterprise, but they didn't want to go because if you don't care about me here, why would you care about me there? Our girl Wendy Williams, oh, my heart goes out to her. The illiterate former talk show host will be given her freedom after everyone involved has spent all of her money. Kind of sounds like Britney Spears. If she did not have that book and it was not a hit, she probably would be in the negatives. Tiny writes, "That's exactly what will happen to Wendy. She does need help. By the time they're done with her, she'll be lucky to get into Medicaid. She should be able to live the rest of her life in safety and comfort with all of the money that she's made. This is sad." Recently, the courts did not rule in Wendy's favor. It looks like they want to keep her in this guardianship. Essentially, the court leaked a medical diagnosis saying that she does have this dementia, and her lawyer saying that this leak isn't true. Wendy nor Joe have actually seen this medical report, but they say that she's got frontal temporal dementia and aphasia, which would make her forget everything. Joe says that this leaked diagnosis is a total violation of Wendy's rights as a human being. In his statement, Joe said the critical questions are these: where's the actual medical report supporting this leak? And who's the doctor who's willing to go under oath and face cross-examination by me so the truth can be exposed? Sabrina Morrissey, the op in this situation, the one who's keeping Wendy Williams in this guardianship, filed documents which reveal that Wendy would undergo a series of tests. Wendy wants out of the guardianship, and sources told us back in March that she proved competent after she was briefly let loose from her assisted care facility. Here is a clip of Wendy and Joe together.
What's next in trying to get her out of the guardianship?
What's next is hopefully justice. I mean, it's been so long, and I'm not a guardianship attorney, I'm Wendy's personal attorney, but this process is really despicably slow because she.
Thank God she has Joe, because like Joe's not even really able to represent her in court unless the judge approves of him, and I fear that she will not be doing that. She does not like Wendy or Joe.
She's in a facility. And Wendy's Wendy. We've had conversations over the course of 6 months. She's the same Wendy Williams that you know from TV. Yeah. Right? And so she belongs in a facility like, I belong in a facility. Well, actually, that might be a good example. Some might argue I belong in a facility. But she's this is a person who is controlling her faculties and is a great human being. And it sickens me, honestly.
I mean, Wendy doesn't seem like she needs someone to make every decision for her in her life.
It's not even about a case for me. It's about a cause. And I'm going to do everything.
I just had a birthday and I'm still in guardianship. If that doesn't say enough, I don't know what does. Now I have a question. How many other people have reached out to you asking for your help?
Right now, my focus is on Wendy, and I have to get her through this.
Honestly, thank God for Joe, and I hope that he's able to free her. But this is going to be your first installment of Blinded and Breakdown this week. Remember, I will be posting a second part of some stories that are a little bit more current, but I wanted to do these few in the beginning that were kind of like throwback kind of, stories. I wanted to make a title with the Marilyn Monroe. I think that's cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed the little split up and enjoyed this kind of like alt version of Blinded and Breakdown. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one that'll be posted very soon. Probably like within, when should I post it? Comment below and I'll post it when you should I post it in a few hours, 2 hours, right away? It's up to you guys, but I'll see you soon. Bye.